Dark shadows fell across Earth as the Vakari ships blocked the sun. For 21 days, these alien warships had surrounded the planet like metal wolves circling their prey. Their ships were huge, some as large as small cities. From space, they looked like angry stars that never moved away. Admiral Kang stood on the bridge of his command ship, the last big defender Earth had left. His face showed the weight of too many lost battles. The screens around him displayed the remains of Earth's space fleet. 2 weeks ago, he had commanded 30 ships. Now only 10 remained, all damaged and low on weapons. "Admiral, another message from the aliens," said Officer Lee, her voice tight with fear. "They demand to speak to our leaders." Kang nodded slowly. His uniform, once crisp and neat, now hung on his tired frame. He had not slept more than 3 hours at a time since the Vakari arrived. "Put it on the main screen," he ordered. The image of General Orn filled the display. The alien was tall, with gray-blue skin that looked like stone. 4 yellow eyes blinked in pairs across a face that seemed more like a mask than living flesh. When he spoke, his mouth parts clicked and moved in ways that made humans uncomfortable. "People of Earth," the alien general said, his words translated by computers. "Your resistance has been brave but useless. The Vakari Empire claims your world as our 18th conquest. You have fought well enough to earn a simple choice." The bridge crew stood frozen as the general continued. "Surrender within 2 days, and your people will live as workers under Vakari rule. Refuse, and we will destroy your major cities one by one until you submit or until your civilization is gone." The alien's 4 eyes narrowed. "You have 48 hours to decide." The screen went dark. No one on the bridge spoke for several long moments. Admiral Kang broke the silence. "Send a message to Earth Command. The Security Council needs to see this right away." In New York, the United Nations building buzzed with panic and argument. Leaders from every country filled the emergency session hall. Some shouted for immediate surrender to save lives. Others demanded they fight until the last human fell. Fear and anger filled the room like smoke. President Jin of the United Korean Republic stood to speak. "We have reports that the Vakari have conquered 17 other worlds. No one has ever beaten them. Their weapons can crack a planet's crust. How can we fight such power? What choice do we have?" asked the representative from Brazil. "Surrender means slavery forever. Is that better than fighting for our freedom?" As the debate grew louder, a small man in simple gray robes entered quietly through a side door. He moved slowly, but with purpose. Few people noticed him until he stood at the center of the chamber. This was Master Ji, head of the ancient Songwang Temple in the mountains of Korea. His bald head reflected the lights from above. At 70 years old, he looked like a gentle grandfather, not someone who would speak in this room of world powers. "Who let a monk in here?" someone whispered loudly. "This is no time for prayers." Secretary General Diaz raised her hand for quiet. "Master Ji has been granted special permission to address this council. Many of you may not know that his temple holds observer status in cultural matters." The old monk bowed to the assembly. When he spoke, his voice was surprisingly strong. "Honorable leaders, I have studied the Vakari for many years. Long before they came to our world, their stories reached Earth through transmissions we captured from distant stars." This caused a stir in the room. Few knew that anyone on Earth had information about these aliens before their arrival. "The Vakari are warriors who follow strict codes of honor," Master Ji continued. "One of their oldest laws states that any world they wish to conquer may send a single champion to face their leader in combat. If that champion wins, the Vakari must leave and never return." Admiral Kang, who had rushed from his ship to attend the meeting, stood up. "Master Ji, with all respect, their general stands nearly 8 feet tall. Their bodies are stronger than ours, and they wear armor that our best weapons cannot damage. No human fighter could win such a battle." The monk smiled gently. "That is why I will go." Laughter burst from several corners of the room. Even those who respected the monk could not help but react. Master Ji was not tall. His arms were thin and his hands showed no signs of weapons training. "This is not a joke," snapped the Russian delegate. "We face the end of human freedom, Possibly the end of our species. I am not joking, Master G replied calmly. I have spent 50 years training my body and mind in ways the Vicari cannot understand. Their strength is in their muscles and their weapons. Mine is in something they have never encountered. President Jin stepped forward. Master G, I have known you since I was a child visiting your temple. You are wise beyond measure. But this is not a matter of wisdom. It is about physical combat with a creature bred for war. The monk nodded. Yes. And that is precisely why I must go. The Vicari respect only strength, but they have never seen all the forms strength can take. Admiral Kang shook his head. I've seen them fight. They move faster than seems possible. They can lift 3 times what a strong human can lift. Their skin is like armor. Master G walked to the center of the room where a small table held a water pitcher. He poured a glass and held it up so all could see. Water seems weak, he said. You can strike it and it does not fight back. Yet given time, water cuts through the hardest stone. It does not oppose force with force. It follows another path. He set the glass down gently. Send word to General Orn. Tell him that Earth accepts his challenge of combat, as is our right under Vicari tradition. Tell him I will meet him as Earth's champion. The room erupted in voices again, but President Jin raised her hand. The noise died down as she looked at the old monk with sad eyes. Are you certain of this path, Master G? If you fail, we lose our last chance. The monk smiled. If I fail, you can still choose to fight or surrender. But I will not fail. Secretary General. Diaz looked around the room. This requires a vote. Those in favor of accepting Master G as Earth's champion against the Vicari. Slowly, uncertainly, hands began to rise. Not many at first, but then more. Even Admiral Kang, after a long moment of thought, raised his hand. Then it is decided, Diaz said quietly. May whatever gods exist watch over us all. As the meeting ended, Dr. Park, Earth's leading expert on alien biology, approached Master G. I respect your courage, she said softly. But you should know what you face. I have studied their bodies. The Vicari have backup organs, their eyes can see heat, their skin can stop bullets. Master G took her hand, gently. Thank you for your concern, Dr. Park, but remember, in all their conquests, the Vicari have only ever faced those who fought as they do. Tomorrow they will face something new. Outside the United Nations building, the sky darkened as more Vicari ships moved into position above Earth's major cities. The message would soon be sent. The monk had made his choice. Now the stars would hold their breath and wait. No one truly believed General Orn would accept the challenge. Earth's leaders sent the message anyway, as Master G had requested. Then they waited, planning for the worst. Admiral Kang ordered his remaining ships to prepare for a final stand. Around the world, people moved into underground shelters. Soldiers said goodbye to their families. Everyone expected the aliens to ignore Earth's offer and start their attack. 6 hours after Earth sent its message, every screen on the planet suddenly showed General Orn again. People of Earth, the alien said, his 4 yellow eyes blinking in pairs. You have invoked the ancient combat right of the Vicari Empire. This is unexpected. The general paused, his stone-like face showing what might have been surprise. We accept your challenge. Your champion will face me in single combat. Tomorrow at dawn, the location will be what you call the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. If your champion defeats me, the Vicari fleet will leave your system and never return. If I win, Earth surrenders completely. The transmission ended. Around the world, confusion replaced fear. They accepted? President Jin asked, looking at the blank screen in the emergency command center. Why would they risk their entire invasion on a single fight? Admiral Kang shook his head. Honor matters more to them than we realized. Master G was right about their traditions, or they are completely sure they will win, Dr. Park added quietly. The news spread quickly. Master G would face the alien general at dawn. Some people called the monk a hero. Others said he was a fool. Many prayed for him while others prepared for the end, certain that no human could defeat the Vikari leader. At the Songguang Temple, Master Ji sat in quiet meditation. Young monks moved silently around him, placing his few belongings in a simple bag. He would travel to the meeting point that night. Outside the temple gates, reporters gathered with cameras and microphones. They shouted questions that went unanswered. How could an old monk save Earth? What secret weapons would he use? Did he have any message for the world? As the sun began to set, a military helicopter landed near the temple. Admiral Kang stepped out and walked up the stone path to the main building. The young monks led him to where Master Ji sat. "The transport is ready," Kang said after bowing deeply. "We should leave soon to reach the meeting point by midnight. Our best weapons specialists want to offer you something that might help." Master Ji opened his eyes and smiled. "Thank you, Admiral. I need only my robes and walking staff." "With respect, Master, the Vikari General will be armed with energy weapons that can cut through metal. He will wear partial armor that our strongest weapons cannot penetrate." The monk stood slowly, his movements smooth despite his age. "The greatest armor is to need no armor. The strongest weapon is to need no weapon." Admiral Kang frowned. "Master Ji, I understand your philosophy, but this is not a training exercise. The fate of our world depends on this duel." "Yes," the monk replied. "That is why I must face the general as I am. Any other approach would ensure our defeat." Seeing that he could not change the monk's mind, Admiral Kang nodded. "Then we should go. The world is watching and waiting." The helicopter flew low over the mountains of Korea. Inside, Master Ji looked out the window at the land he had called home for 70 years. Beside him sat Dr. Park, studying information on her tablet. "I have compiled everything we know about Vikari biology," she said, showing the monk images of alien anatomy. "They have 2 hearts and a backup breathing system. Their muscle density is 3 times that of humans. Their reaction time is nearly twice as fast as our best athletes." Master Ji studied the images with interest. "Fascinating. They are built for survival in harsh conditions." "Yes," Dr. Park nodded. "And for combat. Their species evolved as pack hunters on a world with massive predators. Fighting is in their blood." The monk closed his eyes for a moment. "And what of their minds? Their spirits?" Dr. Park looked surprised by the question. "We know they value honor and combat skill above all else. They believe strength gives them the right to rule. Their religion, if they have one, seems centered on proving themselves through conquest. A people who know only how to take, never how to receive," Master Ji said softly. "This explains much." The helicopter passed over Seoul, a city now dark and silent. Most people had evacuated or hidden underground. Above, the lights of the Vikari ships glowed like cold stars. "We are approaching the DMZ, the pilot announced. "I can see lights at the landing zone." The demilitarized zone had separated North and South Korea for generations. Now it would host the most important meeting in human history. Both Korean governments had agreed to this neutral location for the duel. When the helicopter landed, Master Ji stepped out to find a large open field lit by portable lights. A small group of world leaders and military officials waited near a temporary building. President Jin hurried forward to greet the monk. "Master Ji," she said, bowing. "The alien ship will land in this field at dawn. We have prepared a room where you can rest and prepare." The monk looked up at the night sky. Among the stars, the shapes of Vikari ships loomed like dark clouds. "I would prefer to prepare here, under the open sky," he said. No one argued. As the officials returned to the building for their own urgent meetings, Master Ji sat cross-legged on the ground. He began to breathe slowly and deeply, his eyes closed in meditation. Dr. Park stayed nearby, unable to leave. "What will you do when he attacks?" she asked finally. "He will be so fast, so strong." Without opening his eyes, Master Ji replied, "I will do what water does when it meets stone. I will flow." Hours passed. The eastern sky began to lighten with the first hint of dawn. Above, a bright light separated from the Vakari fleet and grew larger as it descended toward Earth. Admiral Kang approached the monk, who now stood watching the approaching ship. "It is time," the admiral said. "The general comes." Master G nodded. "Yes. Now we will see if the Vakari can learn a new way." The alien shuttle was sleek and angular, like a predator made of metal. It landed with a deep hum that made the ground vibrate. Steam rose as its hot surface met the cool morning air. World leaders, military commanders, and news cameras all focused on the ship as a door slid open. A ramp extended to the ground. General Orn emerged first. In person, he was even more imposing than in his transmissions. Nearly 8 feet tall, his body looked like living stone covered in armor plates that shifted with his movements. His 4 yellow eyes scanned the humans with cold interest. Behind him came 6 Vakari warriors, each carrying weapons that hummed with energy. They formed a line behind their leader. The general stepped forward. "I am General Orn of the Vakari, Empire, conqueror of 17 worlds. Where is Earth's champion?" Master G walked forward, his simple gray robes moving gently in the morning breeze. Beside him, Admiral Kang whispered urgently, "It is not too late to choose another way." The monk smiled. "This is the only way, Admiral. Sometimes to save all, one must stand alone." As Master G approached the center of the field, the contrast was striking. The alien general towered over him, armed with advanced weapons and protected by living armor. The monk carried nothing, his thin arms exposed by his short-sleeved robe. General Orn stared down at Master G. His face plates shifted in what Dr. Park recognized as the Vakari expression of amusement or contempt. "This is Earth's champion?" the general asked. "An elder with no weapons or armor?" Master G bowed deeply, showing perfect respect. "I am Master G of Songguang Temple. I accept your challenge under the ancient combat rites of the Vakari people." The general went still. This formal acceptance, using the exact words of Vakari tradition, clearly surprised him. "You know our combat protocols?" General Orn asked. "I have studied your people for many years," Master G replied. "I know that beneath your conquests lies a code of honor. And I know that according to your own laws, should I prevail, your fleet must leave our system and never return." The general's 4 eyes narrowed, focusing intently on the small human before him. "You speak truth. These are our ways." He turned to address the watching humans. "The combat will begin in 1 hour. Prepare your champion." As the general and his warriors returned to their ship, Dr. Park rushed to Master G's side. "What just happened?" she asked. "He seemed shocked that you knew their traditions." Master G nodded. "The Vakari believe that only the strong deserve respect. By showing knowledge of their ways, I have earned a small measure of that respect. It is not much, but it is a beginning." Admiral Kang joined them, his face grave. "And what is your plan?" "When the fighting starts, he will kill you in seconds." The monk looked toward the alien ship, then up at the stars growing faint in the morning light. "The stars hold their breath, Admiral," he said. "They have seen countless battles across time, but perhaps today they will witness something new." The rising sun painted the sky in shades of orange and gold. In the open field of the demilitarized zone, 2 very different figures prepared for combat. On one side, General Orn performed a series of rapid movements, his massive body moving with surprising grace. His weapons hummed with energy as he tested them. On the other side, Master G sat in quiet meditation, his eyes closed, his breathing slow and steady. Around the field, world leaders watched from a safe distance. Military officers stood with hands on their weapons, though they knew those weapons would be useless against the Vakari. News cameras broadcast the scene to billions of people across Earth. Everyone watched and waited, hoping for a miracle. Admiral Kang approached Master G one last time. "The hour is almost up," he said quietly. "General Orn will be ready soon." The monk opened his eyes and smiled. "I am ready now. Is there nothing I can give you? No weapon or protection?" Master G stood slowly. "Faith, Admiral. Sometimes the universe requires us to stand with nothing but faith. Dr. Park joined them, her tablet in hand. I have been studying the general's movements, she said. He favors his right side. There might be a weakness in his left shoulder, joint. Thank you, Dr. Park, Master G replied with a gentle smile. Knowledge is always valuable. A horn sounded from the Vicari ship. General Orn strode toward the center of the field. His armor caught the morning light, making him look like a creature made of fire and metal. It is time, Admiral Kang said, his voice heavy with worry. Master G nodded and walked forward to meet his opponent. His simple gray robes moved softly, in the morning breeze. He carried no weapons, wore no armor. The two figures met in the center of the field. General Orn towered over the human monk, nearly twice his height. The contrast between them could not have been more striking. Before we begin, the general announced, his translator making his clicks and hisses into words, know that I respect your courage, human. Few have willingly faced me in honorable combat. Master G simply bowed deeply in response, his hands pressed together. The general activated his energy blades with a crackling sound. The weapons glowed with blue light, and the air around them shimmered with heat. Your weapons? General Orn inquired, looking at the monk's empty hands. Master G spread his hands. I need none. A murmur ran through the watching crowd. Even General Orn seemed confused. You mock our combat traditions? The general asked, his four eyes narrowing. No, Master G replied calmly. I honor them by offering my truest self in combat. This is who I am. The general considered this for a moment, then nodded. So be it. The combat begins now. Without further warning, General Orn attacked. He moved with shocking speed for his size, his energy blades cutting through the air with a high-pitched whine. The blade aimed directly at Master G's chest. But the monk was no longer there. With a movement so fluid it seemed like water flowing, Master G had shifted to the side. The general's blade passed through empty air. General Orn quickly adjusted and attacked again, a series of strikes that would have cut a normal fighter to pieces. Yet each time Master G was somewhere else. He did not block or counter. He simply was not where the attacks landed. His movement seemed effortless, his face peaceful. For 5 minutes this strange dance continued. The general attacked with increasing force and speed. Master G moved like water around stone, never touching his opponent, never striking back. The watching crowd grew tense with each passing moment. No human should be able to avoid the Vicari general's attacks, yet the old monk did so with a grace that seemed impossible. Fight me, General Orn finally roared in frustration. His honor guard shifted uncomfortably at this display of emotion. Master G paused, standing perfectly still. I am, he replied. The general's face plates shifted in what Dr. Park recognized as confusion. You have not attacked. You have only run away. I have not run, Master G corrected gently. I have moved with your energy, not against it. There is a difference. With an angry sound, General Orn charged forward, both blades extended. Master G waited until the last possible moment, then moved aside with such precise timing that the general's momentum carried him forward past his target. For the first time in the combat, General Orn stumbled. He caught himself quickly, but everyone had seen it. The perfect warrior had lost balance. The general turned, his four eyes fixed on the monk with new intensity. What combat style is this? I have conquered warriors from 17 worlds and never seen this technique. It is not a technique, Master G explained. It is an understanding of the universe. All things are connected. Your movement becomes my movement. Your strength flows through me and returns to you. General Orn seemed to consider these words. Then, with renewed focus, he began a new series of attacks. These were more controlled, more precise. His blades moved in complex patterns designed to trap and corner his opponent. Master G responded by changing his own movements. Where before he had evaded widely, now he stayed closer to the general, moving in tight circles. Several times the energy blades passed so close to the monk that observers gasped. certain he would be struck. Yet each time Master G moved just enough to avoid harm. Not a centimeter more than needed. It was as if he could feel the heat of the blades and knew exactly where they would be. 30 minutes into the combat, a change came over General Orn. His attacks, once smooth and flowing, became harder, faster, driven by growing frustration. His breathing grew louder. Vicari were built for explosive combat, not extended battles. Master G, however, maintained the same calm rhythm he had established at the beginning. His breathing remained steady, his movements fluid. If anything, he seemed more centered as the combat continued. When he finally spoke, his voice carried across the field. "You fight as if struggling against the universe itself, General," he observed. Each strike fueled by anger, each movement driven by the need to dominate. The general launched another furious assault. This time, instead of simply evading, Master G did something new. As the blade swept toward him, he stepped toward the general, not away. With a slight movement of his hand, he seemed to guide the general's arm past him, using the alien's own momentum and force. For the first time, General Orn lost his footing completely. The massive alien warrior fell to one knee, his blade striking the ground. A collective gasp went up from the watching humans. No one had ever seen a Vicari general kneel before an opponent. "Impossible," General Orn said, his translator struggling to convey his astonishment. Master G waited patiently for his opponent to rise. "Your empire conquers because it fears. It dominates because it cannot understand harmony." The general regained his footing, his 4 eyes fixed on the monk. "Our strength has subdued 17 systems. And yet you have found no peace," Master G replied. "Tell me, General, in all your conquests, have you ever encountered a force you could not defeat through violence?" Something changed in the general's posture, a subtle shift that Dr. Park, watching intently, could not quite understand. The alien warrior seemed to be considering the monk's words seriously. The combat resumed, but with a different quality. General Orn attacked with more thought and less rage. His movements became more measured, as if he was testing something rather than simply trying to kill. Master G responded by becoming even more minimal in his movements. Where before he had moved his entire body to avoid attacks, now he sometimes shifted only a shoulder or tilted his head just enough for a blade to pass by. An hour into the combat, many of the watching humans had moved forward, unable to stay back. The sight of an elderly monk evading the attacks of the galaxy's most feared warrior was too amazing to view from a distance. "What are we seeing?" President Jin whispered to Admiral Kang. The admiral shook his head. "I do not know. But I think it is more than a fight." Dr. Park studied her readings. "The general's energy output is decreasing. His attacks are using less power. Either he is tiring or he is learning," Admiral Kang finished. On the field, the dance continued. Attack and avoidance, force and flow. The general with his weapons and armor, the monk with nothing but his understanding. As the second hour began, the sun stood high in the sky. Both figures cast short shadows on the ground beneath them. Above, the Vicari ships remained in position. The stars had disappeared in the daylight, but they were still there, still watching, still holding their breath. As the duel entered its third hour, a clear change had come over both combatants. General Orn, once swift and powerful in his attacks, now moved with visible effort. His breathing had become heavy. Sweat, or something like it, glistened on his stone-like skin. The Vicari were built for quick, decisive battles, not extended combat. Master G, however, maintained the same calm rhythm he had established at the beginning. His movements remained fluid and precise. His breathing stayed deep and even. Though he was 70 years old, he showed no signs of tiring. The watching crowd had grown as the battle continued. Soldiers who had been stationed at a distance moved closer. News crews adjusted their cameras for better views. Even the Vicari honor guard had shifted position to watch more intently. Dr. Park studied her readings with growing amazement. "This defies everything we know about human endurance," she whispered to Admiral Kang. "He should be exhausted by now." The admiral nodded. I have heard stories of the temple masters and their training, but I never truly believed them until today. On the field, General Orn paused to gather his strength. His 4 eyes never left the monk, studying him with new respect. You fight like no opponent I have ever faced, the general said. His voice, once commanding and cold, now held a note of curiosity. Master G bowed slightly. Because I do not fight against you, General. I move with you. Explain, demanded the General. The monk smiled. When you strike, you believe you are separate from your target. But we are connected. Your energy becomes my energy. Your movement becomes my movement. The general considered this. Then, with renewed focus, he launched a new attack. This time, his blades moved in a complex pattern, designed to trap the monk between crossing energy fields. Master G responded differently. Instead of moving away as before, he stepped directly toward the general. With a gesture so subtle, many missed it, he guided the general's right arm with the lightest touch. The massive alien found his own momentum carrying him past his target. For the second time, General Orn stumbled. This time, he nearly fell completely. A murmur ran through the crowd. Human and Vicari alike recognized that something extraordinary was happening. How? The general asked as he regained his balance. How can a being so physically weak redirect my force? The small stream does not stop the boulder, Master G explained. It flows around it, or guides it to a new path. The universe does not resist force with force. It absorbs, redirects, transforms. The general deactivated one of his energy blades, seeming to consider these words carefully. Then, with his remaining weapon, he attacked again, this time more slowly and deliberately. Master G moved with equal deliberation. The two circled each other, their movements becoming almost like a dance. Attack, avoidance, advance, retreat. But there was a new quality to their interaction, as if they were engaged in conversation rather than combat. From her position near the edge of the field, Dr. Park noticed something remarkable. Look at their breathing, she said to Admiral Kang. They are breathing in the same rhythm. It was true. The massive alien warrior and the elderly human monk had fallen into a synchronized pattern. When Master G inhaled, so did General Orn. When the monk exhaled, the general did the same. What does it mean? The admiral asked. I do not know, Dr. Park replied. But I think the general is learning something. On the field, Master G spoke again. Your people have conquered many worlds, General. But have you ever truly connected with any of them? The general paused, his weapon lowering slightly. Connection is weakness, the Vicari way is strength through dominance. And yet here you stand, Master G observed, struggling against an opponent who offers no resistance. Is this not strange to you? For a long moment, General Orn was silent. Then he attacked again, a powerful horizontal slash that should have cut the monk in half. Master G bent backward, the energy blade passing inches above his chest. As he straightened, he did something unexpected. He reached out and placed his hand directly on the general's armor, over the area where a human heart would be. Feel the connection, Master G said quietly. Between you, me, this planet, your homeworld, all arise from the same cosmic source. The general froze. He did not move to attack again or to step away. His 4 eyes widened, their yellow glow brightening. What is this? He asked, his voice quieter than before. I feel everything. The watching humans held their breath. The Vicari honor guard stepped forward, uncertain if they should intervene. Master G kept his hand on the general's chest. This is reality, General. All things are connected. Your empire has conquered 17 worlds, but never understood them. You have taken, but never received. You have dominated, but never harmonized. General Orn seemed unable to move. I see stars, countless stars, moving together. Yes, Master G nodded. The cosmic dance, all things moving in balance, Even opponents in combat are partners in a greater pattern. The general slowly lowered his remaining weapon until it pointed at the ground. The energy blade deactivated, leaving only silence. "In all my years of conquest," General Orn said, his voice now filled with wonder, "no one has shown me this." "Master." Shai removed his hand and stepped back. He bowed deeply to the general. "Because you never asked to see it. You only demanded surrender." The general looked down at his deactivated weapon, then at his free hand. He flexed his fingers as if seeing them for the first time. "The Vicari believe that strength alone determines the right to survive," he said, speaking almost to himself. "We have lived by this truth for 1,000 years. Perhaps it is not the only truth," Master G suggested gently. The general looked up at the sky, where his fleet hung like dark stars. Then he looked at the watching humans, their faces filled with hope and fear. "You could have killed me many times," General Orn said suddenly, turning back to Master G. "When I lost balance, when I grew tired, you had opportunities." The monk smiled. That would have proven only that one fighter was better than another. It would not have shown a better way. The general's faceplate shifted in what might have been the Vicari equivalent of a smile. "You are a strange opponent, human." "Not an opponent, General. A teacher, perhaps. Or a student. Or both." Dr. Park had moved closer, unable to contain her scientific curiosity. "What did you show him?" she asked Master G. "When you touched him?" The monk turned to her. "Nothing he did not already know deep inside. The Vicari are a people of great intelligence and perception. They have simply focused those gifts on conquest rather than connection." General Orn approached Dr. Park, causing nearby soldiers to raise their weapons nervously. The alien towered over her, but his posture was not threatening. "Your monk has shown me the energy that flows between all living things," the general explained. "We Vicari can sense it naturally, but we are taught from birth to ignore it, to see it as weakness." Dr. Park looked amazed. "You mean your species has natural empathic abilities? This could revolutionize our understanding of alien biology." Admiral Kang stepped forward. "Does this mean the combat is over? Who has won?" Master G and General Orn looked at each other. For a moment, something unspoken passed between them. "The combat continues," the general announced. "We have not yet reached its true conclusion." The crowd murmured in confusion. The two fighters had stopped fighting. What more could happen? Master G nodded. "Yes, we have only begun the most important part of our duel." The monk sat cross-legged on the ground. After a moment of hesitation, General Orn did the same, his massive frame settling awkwardly into a similar position. "What are they doing now?" President Jin asked. Admiral Kang shook his head. "I do not know, but I think we should let them continue." As the sun began its descent toward the western horizon, the human monk and the alien general sat facing each other in silence. They did not move or speak. To the watching crowd, they appeared to be meditating together. Above them, the Vicari fleet remained in position. The stars were beginning to appear in the darkening eastern sky. The universe watched and waited, still holding its breath. As twilight deepened across the demilitarized zone, Master G and General Orn remained seated in silence. They had not moved for over an hour. To the watching humans and Vicari alike, it seemed as if they were frozen in time, two statues in perfect stillness. The crowd had grown restless. Some people whispered that nothing was happening. Others wondered if this strange meditation was some kind of trick. Military leaders consulted with each other, unsure whether the combat was truly continuing or had ended in some way they did not understand. "Should we intervene?" President Jin asked Admiral Kang. The terms of the duel said nothing about meditation. The Admiral shook his head. "We must let this play out. Master G knows what he is doing." Dr. Park monitored her instruments. "Their brainwave patterns are synchronizing," she reported with amazement. "It is as if they are communicating without words." As the first stars appeared in the evening sky, a change came over the two figures. General Orn slowly raised his head. His 4 eyes opened, glowing with a softer light than before. Master G opened his eyes as well, a gentle smile on his face. For several moments they looked at each other in silence. Then, to everyone's surprise, General Orn spoke. "I have seen," he said simply. Master G nodded. Yes. The general rose to his feet, his massive form outlined against the darkening sky. Master G stood as well, his movements fluid despite the hours of sitting. "In 17 conquered systems," General Orn announced, his voice carrying to all who watched, "we have never encountered wisdom such as yours. The Vicari have always believed that strength alone determines the right to survive." Master G smiled gently. "Strength takes many forms, General. The bamboo survives the storm not by resisting but by bending." The general turned and addressed not just the humans present but activated his communication device to broadcast to his entire fleet. "By the ancient laws of combat and honor, I declare this duel complete. Earth has presented a champion whose wisdom surpasses our strength." A collective gasp went up from the crowd. Had they won? Was Earth saved? General Orn did something that shocked the watching Vicari warriors. He removed his ceremonial command insignia, a metal emblem that gleamed with strange symbols, and held it out toward Master G. "This does not need to pass between us," Master G said, bowing deeply instead of taking the offered token. "Keep your symbol of leadership, but perhaps consider what true leadership might require." The general studied the monk for a long moment. Then, to the astonishment of everyone present, he returned the bow, a gesture never before seen from a Vicari to any other species. "Within the cycle of your Earth's orbit," General Orn announced, "representatives of the Vicari will return, not as conquerors, but as seekers of the wisdom you have demonstrated today." He turned to address the human leaders directly. "Your world remains free. The Vicari fleet will depart your system by tomorrow's dawn." President Jin stepped forward, her voice shaking slightly. "And we have your word that the Vicari will never again threaten Earth?" "You have more than my word," the general replied. "You have my understanding. There is no honor in conquering those who have shown us a better path." With that, General Orn signaled to his honor guard. The Vicari warriors formed a line and bowed to Master G, their weapons lowered. Then they returned to their shuttle. Before boarding, General Orn turned one last time to the monk. "What you have shown me will change the Vicari forever. Some will resist this new understanding." Master G nodded. "Change is never easy, but it is the way of the universe. Even stars transform over time." The general's faceplates shifted in what humans were beginning to recognize as a smile. "Until we meet again, teacher." Master G bowed once more. "Until then, student." The shuttle, doors closed. With a deep humming sound, the craft lifted off and returned to the Vicari fleet above. For several minutes, no one spoke. The humans looked at each other, then at Master G, then at the sky where the alien ship still hovered. "Is it over?" someone finally asked. "Have we won?" Master G turned to the crowd, his face peaceful. "There was never anything to win or lose, only understanding to be gained." Admiral Kang approached the monk and bowed deeply. "Master G, you have saved Earth. How can we ever thank you?" "Thank yourselves," Master G replied, "for having the wisdom to try a different way." Above them, the Vicari ships began to move. Their lights shifted as they changed position. Many people gasped, fearing the aliens had changed their minds and were preparing to attack. But the ships were not moving into attack formation. They were pulling away from Earth, their engines glowing blue against the night sky. One by one, they accelerated and disappeared into the darkness of space. By midnight, the last Vicari ship vanished from Earth's orbit. The stars shone clear and bright once again. News spread quickly around the world. Humanity had survived. There had been no surrender, no destruction. The monk had prevailed without striking a single blow. In cities across the globe, people emerged from shelters to look up at the night sky. They celebrated in streets and homes, hugging strangers and loved ones alike. Earth remained free. 3 days later, Master Ji returned to Songguang Temple. He declined all medals and honors. When reporters asked for interviews, he simply smiled and continued his journey home. At the temple, young monks welcomed him with bows and smiles. They had prepared his favorite tea and cleaned his small room. Master Ji thanked them and resumed his simple routine, tending the garden, instructing students, meditating at dawn. A week later, Admiral Kang made the long climb to the temple. He found Master Ji sweeping fallen leaves from the stone steps. "Master," the admiral said after bowing deeply, "the world wishes to honor you. The United Nations has created a new peace medal in your name." Master Ji continued sweeping. "Please thank them for me, but I need no honors." "How did you know it would work?" Admiral Kang asked, the question that had troubled him for days. "How could you be certain General Orn would not simply kill you?" Master Ji leaned on his broom, looking up at the clear blue sky. "I did not know, but I understood that all beings, even the Vikari, seek meaning beyond conquest. Sometimes the universe requires only that we stand as witnesses to this truth." The admiral nodded slowly. "The Vikari have sent a message. They wish to establish peaceful relations with Earth. They have asked specifically if some of their people might study at your temple." Master Ji smiled. "They will be welcome. The path of understanding is open to all." "And what will you teach them?" Admiral Kang asked. "The same thing I showed their general," Master Ji replied. "That true strength comes not from domination, but from harmony. Not from separateness, but from connection." As evening approached, the admiral prepared to leave. Before going, he asked one final question. "Master Ji, in all the universe, with all its wars and conflicts, do you truly believe peace is possible?" The old monk pointed to the mountains surrounding the temple. "Look at those peaks. They have stood for millions of years through countless storms, not because they fought against the wind and rain, but because they found their balance with these forces." He smiled. "The universe seeks balance, Admiral. We simply need to stop fighting against its nature." That night, Master Ji sat in meditation under the stars, the same stars that had watched the duel, that had held their breath as two different beings found a connection deeper than combat. Now those stars continued their eternal dance, unchanged yet somehow different. Perhaps somewhere among them the Vikari were beginning to see the universe in a new way. Perhaps other species too would learn that strength and wisdom could exist together. Master Ji closed his eyes and breathed deeply. In the silence of the night, he felt the connections between all living things, the young monks sleeping nearby, the admiral returning to the city, the general now far away among the stars. All were part of the same cosmic pattern. All were learning, in their own way, the simple truth he had demonstrated with nothing more than a bow. The end.